Welcome to Cortsens Corner. Today we're going to talk about the new trend among students, the study drugs. Study drugs are performance-enhancing medicine that is used more and more commonly by students in their everyday life, but especially during the exams. But is it right? Is it ethically correct to let young students and people under pressure use these performance-enhancing substances to get better grades and greater results? Is it fair to use these drugs? Could it have any consequences for the user? Where is it going to end if we are all starting to use drugs to improve our daily life? Here to the right, we can see Peter Panasonic. Peter is an ordinary student. He studies at the University of California, and he thinks that it's alright that some people use study drugs. Here we have Professor Oak. Oak is professor at Oxford University and has been working with the development of the drugs. Aside of that, he has been working with the side effects of the drugs. Oak has a PhD in study drugs and Pokemons. Danny Dynamite is teacher at HGX in Aalborg. He has experienced the effects of the drugs in action. He has seen the students under the effects of the performance-enhancing drugs, and he has experienced how it changed the students in relation to their education. He believes, however, that there is a difference between the use of the study drugs in the everyday life and during the exams. Jesus Christ is, and we can see Jesus. Jesus knows almost everything, but how does he feel about the fact that his world is changing the way we feel about education? News on YouTube is the well-known hipster and a former winner of Paradise Hotel. He thinks that the use of study drugs is a good thing and it should be legalized so everyone can have it. He thinks, however, that people should be able to control their doses by themselves. My name is Cortsens. Welcome to tonight's show.
First of all, I think that we should be wise not to just use the new drug recklessly. I think that it is necessary that we consider who should have legal access to the drugs. Because it's a new technology, it is crucial that we really think about who could need it and those who could just abuse it. We do not have any experience with the drug, and therefore we do not know which side effects there could be on longer terms. Study drugs are a relatively new technology, and they are also used by children with ADHD. Because of the fact that it is a relatively new technology, we do not know whether any of the short-term side effects can have any long-term consequences. Lastly, I think that humans are irreplaceable, and since irreplaceability cannot be measured, counted, or weighed, why should we change anything about it?
Excellent argument, Oak. What do you think about that, Newton?
I think that we have to be more careful that we won't end up with an overconsumption of the drugs. I think, however, that we should not exclude the idea of using the drugs, but we definitely have to consider how we use them. We do not wish to medicate people who do not have a problem, but there are some people who are nervous when they take the exams, and by taking these study drugs, they can feel more relaxed and be more chill and more confident in their abilities. But if we take a look at those who already feel confidence, I do not think that that they should take these drugs, because it won't have any good effect on them, and maybe it will make them relax more, and that will only show a disadvantage in their abilities.
Interesting argument, but now it's time for a short commercial break.
Whoa, this math is so hard. What to do?
You look like someone who could use some study drugs.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, thanks. Whoa.
Young man, what is the answer to this question?
This answer is 4.
Oh, you seem like a good mathematician. What is this answer then?
This answer is 25,526.
Oh my God, how are you so good?
You also have problems at school. You should try study drugs to help out at your exams. Study drugs. They're only available for a limited time.
Welcome back to the nice show. Right now we're discussing, is it alright to let young people use study drugs?
I believe that we are to follow our Heavenly Father. It is essential that we follow the Ten Commandments so that we do not commit sins. We are not to change people. Every soul has its own unique value. It is not necessary to chemically change it just to perform better in school. And neither do I think we should judge people based on their individual beliefs and values, since we are created as equal beings in the eyes of God. In other words, we are all rightfully the same. For example, you're not doing it great at school, right? But it's okay, since we don't all have the same qualities. Why should we change that when we are all rightfully the same? You have to think about whether you want drugs to be a normal thing. It is not everyone who thinks it's a good idea that everyone is going to use performance-enhancing drugs, since it only would increase the level in schools. The students who are not using the drugs in the first place would then get lost in the educational system. You also have to keep in mind that the fact that exams is not everything in your life. We as people should not be seen as performance monsters. Even though you do not get an A in an exam, you still has a value as a person. There will always be people who love you at home and who can't live without you. So should we really start to give healthy people medication?
I need to say that I disagree with Jesus and Danny. If you can produce the drugs without any side effects, I cannot see anything wrong in that they are being used by students, since the negative headache will be offset by the positive results which the students can accomplish. I do not think that this is something you should interfere too much on a personal level, because the people have to try to weigh their pleasure or utility. It also means that people who already do it quite well in exams have no reason to take sedating substances, as it will not help them much. Let us take a look at George and Lisa. George has throughout his school worked well under pressure and have generally performed well for his various exams that he's been through. For him, there would be no point in taking the drugs to get him to relax, when he would just become more careless and thereby in danger of losing a few grades. Contrast, Lisa has always been afraid of exams. For her, there would be a good reason to take the drugs so she can get the grade she deserves. And remember, pain is temporary, victory is forever.
Excellent, guys. Thank you for your insight into the subject. And thank you for watching. See you next week.